Welcome to End Zone Online. I'm George Ayoub with Bobby Mills, the 1,000-yard guy. Elisa Reitz is behind the camera. You can't see her, but she's there, trust me. This is our weekly look at high school football, and the season starts Thursday night.
Can't wait.
First games start Thursday night, and today we want to talk a little bit about some players to watch from the area, and then after the break we'll talk about some big games coming up in the state. So, Bobby, I know you've done some research over the summer about some kids in our area that are going to be football players we're going to want to watch. Who do you have on your list there?
Well, the first is a duo from Donovan Trumbull. You know, Riley Wiltfong at quarterback and Jordan Slough at running back. And I don't remember in all the years I've been keeping track if there's been a 2,000-yard passing quarterback and a 2,000-yard running back.
That would be quite a combination.
Right, and you know, Donovan Trumbull's first desire on the football field is to run the ball. So how do you throw for nearly 2,300 yards? They're that good.
Yeah, that's quite an effort.
So that's it. They're a nightmare for defenses, and I'm sure that them being juniors last year.
And they're in the middle of a great group of teams. They're scheduled.
Yeah,
they'll play some. They'll be tested, and so sometimes when a team has great offense, some of those kids don't play in the fourth quarter. But I'm thinking these two will be playing a lot of football.
They will. You know, Donovan Trumbull's defense wasn't always the most stellar in the world, so it was a high-scoring affair. So those kids had to be there playing defense because it ended up 38-31, and they had to be in. So
yeah, so we'll look for those two Cardinals to lead the Donovan Trumbull team this year.
Another kid, Chase Reese from senior high. We just talked about him. I want to make a point that I made to George that this kid has 64 unassisted tackles a year ago, and Josh Banderas, who I understand, from Lincoln Southwest, is contending for serious playing time at the university.
As a freshman.
True freshman. He only had 44. So that's 20 more tackles. They both had 158 tackle points, but this Reese kid, the defending state champion somewhere in wrestling.
I think it's 189.
Yeah,
but
I think you're probably right.
Yeah, he's a terrific athlete.
Nose for the ball. A terrific athlete. If Class A wasn't so crowded with Division I recruits, the kid should be an all-stater.
Absolutely.
So, and then our friend Brady Rasmussen from up Lut City, 3-year 1,000-yarder if he gets it this year, and Nick Hodge is doing a great job up there. So Brady's going to have some people around him.
So how many? Obviously you keep the 1,000-yard list. How many 4-year 1,000-yarders do you have on that list?
Well, there's only two. Mike Brower from Fillmore Central. And that's an 11-man guy, and then Brandon Holtorf from Prague, 2 years 6-man, 2 years 8-man. That's it.
Yeah. So he could join a pretty select group.
Well, he didn't make it when he was a freshman.
I'm sorry.
There is a kid up there in Jacob Morrill from Creighton who is a 3-year 1,000-yarder. I should have made myself more clear. He's after his 3rd year.
Okay.
But that's plenty good.
That's good. Yeah, that's nothing to sneeze at.
So, and then Buzz Niederklein from Adams Central, I'm really impressed with him. He's a good two-way player, but he had pretty close to 1,000 yards as a backup.
We watched him play a little. We watched him play a little basketball last year.
Yeah,
and I was impressed with him as an athlete and as a competitor.
Really, and how many kids do you know that are named Buzz?
Yeah, that alone.
That alone
should be worth 20 or 30 yards.
So there's plenty of talent around here.
You have a young man at Giltner that I know you like.
Trevor Poppin, yeah, and he played in the line last year. So in the state championship game, they put him at wide receiver, and I don't know how far it was. It had to be close to 65 yards for a touchdown. Just caught it, ran under it, and went all the way. So they're going to move him to running back. And I would step aside and call him Mr. Poppin.
Yeah, that's
coming to me.
So. Right this way, Mr. Poppin.
Right, so he just plugs it in over there at Giltner now, and all those kids know how to play several positions. So I like Buzz Niederklein, and I do like that Poppin kid.
Good, okay. Well, let's look at some outstanding players from our area that I'm sure will be making headlines and racking up yards and tackles this fall. Bobby will keep an eye on that and keep us updated on those. After the break, we're going to come back and talk about some big games, not only in our area but across the state. This is End Zone Online on theindependent.com.
That's low. That's low.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. Stop the texts. Stop the wrecks. Visit us at stoptextstoprex.org.
We are back with End Zone Online. George Ayoub, Bobby Mills. We're going to talk about some big high school football games, and those games start this week, August 29th. That's a Thursday. And Where are you headed on the 29th?
Well, Norfolk Catholic and Columbus Lakeview
Yeah,
up
it
in
was on my
Norfolk.
list. That's a big one.
That is a big one. Big game for Lakeview especially. That's the best chance they probably had to beat Catholic since they've started playing them,
Right.
because Jeff Beller has to plug in a new quarterback. His son graduated, and then Lakeview has Jake Shadley, who's broken every record in the world, it seems like, in passing. So that's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
It's not going to set the tone for the loser, because
Here's to the things that can
probably
keep
go
us safe.
pretty well anyway. But it's a good stepping.
And now,
it's just a good stepping stone.
Those that we carry with us
Especially
everywhere will bring us
I-
wireless emergency
if I'm
alerts.
coaching, Jeff
With the
Tomlin's
unique
taking
sound and
Islanders
vibration,
to
you'll be in the
Seacrest
know,
to play
wherever
Northeast
you
on
are.
Thursday as
Right.
well. He's going to be unveiling a team with some, they gained a lot of experience, was young, took their lumps last year, but they're going to be a lot better this year. But you wonder about, when you prepare for a tough game, it's the very first one of the season. Do you let everything out of the bag, or do you hold things back for later in the year? It's a real dichotomy of things going on for a coach there.
In the college ranks, you always read about Pelini doing that, or Beck, or whoever's doing it, that they don't want to show this, they don't want to show that. But very few high school coaches do it on a grandiose scale. Everything is on the field every game.
Yeah,
I
would
really
think it would have to be.
It does, and they're not holding anything back unless it's a trick play like Carl Desmer would run or somebody like that. But I think they're letting it all hang out
It's an
every
interesting
game.
thing. Aurora and McCook are the next night.
Oh, man.
And that's a big one in Class B. Both are opponents of the Vikings, Grand Island Northwest Vikings. So that'll be a big one right out of the chute as well. And that'll be Friday night.
And it's a non-district game, nonetheless, a very big game. It's
very
always
big
big
game.
down in McCook in that beautiful facility. So once again, McCook loses, Aurora loses. It's not going to, it's not going to affect the standings, but it's a big game. Yeah,
Right, a huge game. A Class A game that both opponents of the Islanders, Kearney and Lincoln North Star, they play October 18th, which is my birthday. I'm just adding that, large shiny prize.
There we go.
Gifts and things would be great. Never mind. Both Islander opponents on their schedule should be a pretty good football game, because North Star, I think, is going to be they're going to be right at the top in Lincoln, I think.
they will be. Southeast, North Star, those are your two teams. Brandon Cool doesn't have very many returning starters, and he said right off the bat, North Star is going to be a great measuring stick for our team. So, you're kind of a North Star hope. Well, you told me that North Star was going to be a good team.
Yeah,
this
and I
year,
think
they
they're
are.
a good team, and the Bolts kid back at quarterback, so they have leadership.
Oh,
They
yes.
have they have a good running game. I think they're going to be. I think they're going to make some noise. On September 13th, Adams Central at Wilbur Claytonia. Adams Central is once again will be good. They'll be at the top of their class. I don't know much about Wilbur Claytonia. What do you think of that ball game?
They had three brothers. They have one left, and their last name is Zlab. And as long as there's a Zlab quarterbacking Wilbur Claytonia, they will be good. They really gave Adams Central a football game last year, so that's going to be a good test.
That'll be a good one.
It will,
That'll be a good ball
but
game.
there's a big difference in sizes of the schools, but still should be competitive.
I also looked ahead, and I saw that Sutton played on October 4th. They play Hastings St. Cecilia, and then the next week they go to Donovan Trumbull.
That is
back-to-back tough ball games for the Mustangs over in Sutton.
It is, and I like that Sutton team. They might have one of the best quarterbacks. I think he's the best quarterback in all of football below Class B.
Mm-hmm.
So St. Cecilia's always has
They'll
a good
be
team,
good, yeah.
always be. And that little trio, Sutton, Donovan Trumbull, and St. Cecilia, when they get done banging on each other, whoever emerges will.
Right, and that's what we mentioned in the first part of the show.
Boy.
Donovan Trumbull has a terrific offense, so there'll be some ball games there. York and Aurora at the end of the season, 10-25 on October 25th. District championship could be up for grabs on that.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those teams are pointing in that direction. That should be a good ball game as well.
It should be. They should be, that will tell a lot of the story. And that is a big game. But remember last year when we were talking to Kevin Stein at it, and we got the feeling he maybe thought York upset them the week after they beat Aurora. York didn't upset anybody. They were that good
They were
at the
that
end of
good.
It played out that way. So York has a great
Went
team.
out to Scottsbluff and really played well out there, and just so and again, both York and Aurora, Grand Island Northwest opponents. So That'll be a terrific game. So you have any other matchups on your list that we didn't get to?
Well,
Millard North, Millard South. Are you going to go to that ball game, Bobby?
It's on Thursday.
Oh, it's on.
And that would be a great one, a great toss-up, you know,
Yeah.
Norfolk or Millard. But as I said, Norris at York will be a big one. But Jackson Reitz, the outstanding quarterback for Norris, will be in Taiwan.
Yeah, playing baseball.
Yeah, so he's going to miss the first 2 games. That's going to make a big difference over there. York might get a chance to start out with a win because, you know, he makes everything go. Another good game is Boys Town at Lincoln Christian. I think that's a big one. How about Class B being dominated by River City teams?
Wow, right, that's a tough conference.
Basketball. And then, of course, High Plains at Palmer, big 8-man D1 game. And the D2 game that I'm interested in is Fullerton at Humphrey St. Francis.
Yeah, and that's later in the
year.
Well,
those are early. All Friday.
All Friday.
Those are all Friday games.
So we have some big games early in the season.
A week from this Thursday, Cozad will entertain Adams Central. How about that one?
Yeah, so Cozad they're tough ball club.
This should be their year.
So
with Jake Paulson.
There's some great ball games. Every weekend we'll have great football games, and those are just some of the highlighted games. And as the season goes along, we'll try to tell you what games in our area that are going to be exciting and meaningful in terms of points and standings, and then across the state we'll do the same thing. So
what about you guys and your football games? First one a week from Friday?
Friday we're going to do a Grand Island Senior High in Lincoln Southwest.
Should be a good one.
We'll be at Memorial Stadium, and Tom Dinsdale Automotive sponsors our live streaming. We'll also do volleyball. We'll do volleyball the night before, and the 5th we'll be out at Grand Island Northwest High School against Crete.
Sounds exciting.
So we're getting ready for that. Elisa and I and a crew are going out to Memorial Stadium to kind of practice a little bit today. So we're looking forward to that. So it'll be a great football season. Starts this week. Bobby Mills is in heaven. This is This is the time of year for him. So we'll see you next week on End Zone Online. I'm George Ayoub for Bobby Mills, Elisa Reitz from theindependent.com. Thanks for joining us.